Come to Market Avenue. My name is Edward Nyakon. There seems to be a rally on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and today we're going to look at that. Abdulrahman is standing by to do that. But before that, let's not forget that the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank has begun its meeting and will wrap up the meeting on Friday this week, and Monday it will have a press conference. Analysts are projecting that there is a likelihood that the policy rate might be increased by 200 basis points, that is from 70% to 19%. We're going to talk to Dr. George Domfeh of the University of Ghana, a senior research fellow, and to find out more from him what will be the impact or ramifications on the economy if this decision is taken. But before we do continue, let's speak the business language for today. Come once again. What is happening on the market today?
Well, thank you so much, Edward. The market today has appreciated as a result of some price movers that we saw on the Accra Best. As at the end of the session, there were two price gainers and a laggard, and that has resulted in the market indices appreciating slightly. Let me tell you how this has panned out. The markets, the composite index, for example, has gone up by 23.58 points, and this is the second time in the week that we are seeing the composite index appreciating by 25 points or above since the start of the week. And the financial stocks also has appreciated by some 0.17 points, also returning some 2.70 to investors in the financial stock space. For those who have invested in general stocks, their loss is gradually reducing as we are seeing the composite index expanding day in, day out, and it's returning negative 6.39%. Let me tell you the how some of the dynamics on the market went. For example, the volume of shares that were traded on the market today, 46,000, were quite low, in terms of the impact that has had on the market indices, it's slightly phenomenal. Bigger, and that translated into a value of 45,467 Ghana cedis, and as I indicated to you, the composite index as that expanded from 2,587 points to 2,610 points. In terms of the market capitalization also, it has expanded from 62.776 billion Ghana cedis to 63.030 billion Ghana cedis. Quite some good news for investors on their Accra Best. If you want to know the stocks that made the moves at the end of the session, MTN of course recorded some appreciation as at the end of the session. Calbank also appreciated. There was a single price decline, but that did not outweigh the performance of the indices at the end of the session today, Edward. Thank you very much, Sani Abdulrahman, for your time, and that is the update from the Ghana Stock Exchange. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Dr. George Domfeh, a senior research fellow at the University of Ghana, to look at the impact of the policy rate that is expected, or the decision that is expected to be taken by the MPC of the Bank of Ghana come Monday. Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. We have Dr. George Domfeh, Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Social Studies at the University of Ghana. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Good to have you once again.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Great. Now, Doc, inflation is now 23.6%. Policy rate is at 17%. The Bank of Ghana's MPC has started meeting, and looking at what is happening around the world, we've seen inflationary pressures all over, major central banks also hiking interest rates. what do you think will be some of the issues that will be on the table of the MPC at this moment as they meet from today to Friday and to come out with a verdict on Monday?
Let me thank you very much for this opportunity. And let me say very good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers as well. Yeah, so we have heard that inflation is now 23.6, the highest since January 2004. And rather so, we know what is happening to the rest of the world. So Ghana is not exempted, I should say. Yeah, but you come to our situation and you want to find out what is really causing it and how do we get out from where we are. Let me say that in terms of the economy, we are doing very well. The economy is very robust. It is growing at 5.4%, and historically 5.4% growth rate is one of the highest, and so there's no problem. Especially so when we are told that the growth also hinges on developments in the crop production and also manufacturing and of course telecommunication. And so we have seen the manufacturing sector doing very well, the crop production sector, the agriculture sector also doing very well. And these constitute the real sector of the economy. And so if you see your agricultural sector doing very well, your manufacturing sector doing very well, then it means that entirely the economy is doing well in the sense that whatever growth that is achieved is pro-poor. And this is the kind of development that we have been seeking for decades. And so, on that note, I want to say that things are not so bad as people are saying. Today, if you go to our market and you want to buy a maize, tomato, plantain, whatever that you want to buy, if you go to the market, you will get to buy it. The one unfortunate thing is that prices of such goods have gone up beyond the reach of the poor. That is true. Inflation has gone up. And so when it comes to what we have to do to make sure prices are down, I think as a country we've done well, because there are two things that will move prices of goods and services higher. Number one, if we don't have the goods and services available, in other words, two things play out in the market. That is demand and supply. And so if the people who are seeking to have a particular commodity our money are more than the goods available, producers or sellers selling will be encouraged to increase prices. And so when people have so much money in their pocket, the aggregate demand is higher than the available supply, then obviously prices of goods and services will go up. And in that case, you want to blame the government of the day, you want to blame the managers of the economy for not doing enough to produce, to make sure we have more goods and services available for the people. And that is the point where I'm coming from. Today, we cannot say that prices of goods and services that have gone up is because of unavailability. Unavailability is not a problem. We have quite a lot of goods and services available. If you go to the market, I'm here to hear someone say that I went to market, I was looking for this particular product and I couldn't get it. That is not happening. So we have goods and services available, but the prices have gone up. Another situation that would push prices of goods and services up is when we have so much money in the system. In other words, when there's so much liquidity, when everybody has money, what then happens is that everybody is going to demand, even though that we have goods and services available. But in this situation, everybody has money and everybody wants to buy. And so when it happens like that, sellers are encouraged to increase their prices with the hope that even when they do, people will sell back. And that obviously would also increase prices. And so is that what is happening? Is it because people have so much money in their pockets chasing the very few goods available? That is why prices are going up? No. that is also not, that's not what is happening. Certainly not. But if you seek my opinion on where we are, it is significantly because of the global market, the dynamics in the global market. Since COVID started, the world has suffered what we call global supply crisis. In the year 2020, many factories, big factories and firms that had to produce were closed down. And so somewhere in the year 2020, we saw shortages of these products. And because of that, as we speak, inflation in the U.S. has gone up beyond the imaginable. And now, U.S. is experiencing the worst inflation in 40 years. So is UK, and so are many other economies in the world. I'm here to see one particular economy where prices of goods and services have stagnated or have stabilized. Almost every country in the world is suffering these circumstances because of the global supply crisis.
All right, Doc, Doc, if you can hear me, Doc, if you can hear me, yes, so we've seen that we have the external factors and the internal factors as well. But the Bank of Ghana is meeting now. In your view, are we likely to see an increase of the policy rate? And even how much, in terms of the percentage basis point, how much are you expecting?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. But to wrap up on what I was trying to say, that yes, apart from the global supply crisis, we've also experienced increases in fuel charges. And so people who go out there to buy, when they are bringing their goods here, they pay so much on the transportation, if I should put it that way. If you take that one out, fuel prices have also gone up so high, as we say, because of that. Even when somebody goes to farm for plantain, even though we have quite a lot of them available, plantain, all the foodstuffs are available. But because transportation has also gone up from the poor increasing, then obviously farmers bringing their goods to the market sector are also increasing them. Now, so why are prices still going up? They are going up because of all these mentioned factors. But one significant factor is that people still have money in their pocket. And so even though prices of these commodities and services are going up, we still have the purchasing power to buy. And because of the higher patronage, what then happens is that sellers and producers are still increasing their prices. And so when it happens like that, the Bank of Ghana will want to use what we call contractionary monetary policy. When we say contractionary monetary policy, that is a situation whereby the bank will have to raise the policy rate. And when the bank raises the policy rate, commercial banks will also have to raise the lending rate. The policy rate is the rate at which the central bank lends to the commercial bank. And the lending rate is the rate at which the commercial bank will also lend to individuals such as you, Mr. Nyako, and myself. And so, anytime policy rate goes up, the commercial banks will also increase the lending rate. And when the lending rate goes up, it will discourage so many people who otherwise would have gone to bank to go just to buy one good or the other. And so the aggregate demand will go down, and when the aggregate demand is low, prices of goods, the rate at which the price of goods and services are going up is key. And that's what is known as contractionary monetary policy. And when it happens, you see the policy rate going up. The last time we experienced it, the policy rate was around 14.5%, and it was moved 17%. And today we are told that the bank has met again, the monetary policy committee has met, and I can predict that for sure they are going to increase the policy rate. When they increase the policy rate, the essence is to mop up liquidity for the system. We have so much money in the system. So many people have money. They can either go and borrow. But if you increase cost of borrowing, it will discourage so many people away from borrowing. And in that way, so many will not be able to join the queue to make demand for goods and services.
All right, but Doc, the question is,
will come down.
Yes, okay. So we want to bring down inflation by hiking policy rates. If this happens, what will be the effects on jobs and growth?
Yeah. So, contractionary monetary policy is used at the time prices of goods and services are going beyond the reach of the poor. As a government, you always want to make sure that in as much as you want to promote growth, you also want the poor and the citizens to afford goods and services available. And so this is just for affordability. And I can predict that the monetary policy meeting Monday, they may end up increasing the policy rate for about 20%. I see it going to about 20%. Now, the question is, what are the adverse consequences to this? No country would ever want to go with contractionary monetary policy. It is not the best, but we use it, especially when prices are going up beyond the reach of the poor, and you want to encourage the poor to also be part of consumption. That is the only alternative. But anytime you do that, many other firms and companies that otherwise would have gone to banks to take loans to expand production are going to be discouraged away. And so what happens then is productivity will go down. And once productivity goes down, it's going to affect the rate at which the country or the economy is creating jobs. And so obviously, job creation will be affected. And that in turn can even deepen the unavailability of goods and services, which can also, in a way, come back to push prices of goods and services up. And so it's not a good policy. If we remember somewhere 2014, 2015, when we were confronted with almost the same situation, policy rate was increased to as high as 27%. But December 2016, it was 25%. And it was one of the highest in Africa. In fact, Africa, Ghana was better than only Namibia. I'm just praying we don't get to where we were in 2016. But I can assure you that looking at the rate at which prices are going up, by Monday, I will be surprised if the policy rate is pushed upwards to 20%. And once it happens, definitely it's going to affect the growth projected for this year.
It's going to affect the growth projected for this year. So, by the close of the year, do you expect that inflation will ease when harvest starts because we're having good rains?
Yeah, so that has not been a problem. Unavailability of goods and services has never been a problem. We have so much goods and services available. And so if you go to the market, we have quite a lot of them. But again, you are right. Our agricultural sector is rain fed, and so once it rains very well, positively and for that matter, it doesn't matter the transportation prices. But I hope my transportation charge in transport, I can assure you that prices will come down. Because you see, most of these products that we buy are seasonal. If we are in the season of the yam, we are in cassava season, and farmers are producing more than normal, prices will definitely go down. And so I agree with you, with the good rains that we have experienced, and that in a way would work to bring prices of goods and services down, especially the goods and services that are produced in this country. But then, one thing that I'm not too sure is about the imported inflation, because we go to US to buy and bring a lot of things from US. We go to China to buy. We go to Germany. We go to UK. And prices of goods and services in all these goods, in all these countries have gone up. They have gone up exorbitantly. And so, in as much as we still depend on people, and all the countries around us are experiencing inflation, There is no solution. There is nothing we can do until things get stabilized in this country, and until we also stop importation of goods and services. We shouldn't think that prices would ever go down, and that is why there is a need for us to increase local production. Our dependency on imports should go down, and I like the policy, one district, one policy. I mean, one district, one factory. If we look at the growth of the 2021 economy, one very positive story about it is that the manufacturing sector was growing at a very historically high values, and so was the agricultural sector. The manufacturing sector especially, because Ghana depends mostly on manufactured products that are produced in other countries. And so if we are able to sustain the gains we have had over the last few years in the manufacturing sector, what it means is that in future, if we happen to experience this particular situation, there will be shock absorbers. We wouldn't be hit directly as it's happening now.
All right.
And so the solution to this is increasing local production. One district, one factory must work, whether we like it or not. It must work. All policies that have been put in place to make sure agricultural sector works should also work. When we do that, we are getting jobs for the people.
Thank you very much.
We are becoming less dependent on it.
Thank you very much,
And
Dr.
that is very, very important.
This is how. Thank you very much, Dr. Domfe, for your time. Sorry we couldn't continue. We'll continue the conversation some other time. We're grateful for your time. And that's how we wrap up Market Avenue for today. My name is Edward Nyaku. We'll come your way, God willing, tomorrow. Shalom.